Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Hearts of Iron 4. This is the American Union State game. It is now 1945, and we have just finished fighting off the PSA and are kind of positioning ourselves, I think, for a war against possibly Canada, possibly Mexico. Things in the European sphere have progressed somewhat. Germany is out. The Internationale is out. The Entente is currently fighting against the Mediterranean Alliance, which are the Carlist Spain and the Italian Federation. It is 1945. So this is already pretty far into the game thus far. And there are still very, very strong people arrayed against us. I mean, the Entente are probably on the way out, simply because they've lost their holdings which were here. So on the Entente, Germany joined the Entente, and France did actually get France off of the French Internationale. So that is the French Republic. But then they were themselves attacked by the Mediterranean guys who won that war and have taken that out. In the meantime, we were fighting against the Pacific states over here, and we have finally finished unifying the USA. We still need to take back Alaska. We still need to take back Hawaii. So there are a number of things that we still need to do. Oh, and Panama as well. So how are things looking right now? We are currently rebuilding New England, because I wanted to get the infrastructure there. Then we'll probably finish rebuilding the Pacific. And once those are done, we may try and reclaim Alaska and maybe do some of the other events and things over here. Why can't I do that? Oh, the League of American Nations doesn't exist. Or does that mean I need to do this one first? Create faction, League of American States. League of American Nations. Is that the same thing? I suspect it's the same thing, and then we can start to get these guys to join us, or we attack them and make them join us that way. Not entirely sure just yet. Not entirely sure. So, yeah, we're rebuilding things. We need to repair a lot of the damage that was done. We are out of manpower currently. I was kind of hoping that when we cored the Pacific states, we would get their manpower. We are building tanks back up again. I mean, our industry took a bit of a beating. Not really our industry, sorry, our unit numbers. We got really close to losing. I'm not going to lie, we were extremely close to losing. So, armies are currently moving around. Once they've got into their positions, I'll start splitting out the guys that need a bit more training and start those training and upgrading the units with their heavy tanks. But like I said, like our equipment, we lost a lot in that fight. Excavation is done, so we are now fully upgraded in terms of that. So we have all the resources that we need, hopefully. 1945, we could get radar. We could also start getting nuclear things. We never did get any of these. Interesting. Air Force, we're still upgrading the aeroplanes. Naval. We probably do need to get some 1944 ships. We are going to be increasingly international in our endeavours. We have all the tanks. We still need the 1945 of these, so I think we probably want the field hospitals. Hey, Derpy Potato. It's good that Italy doesn't suck in this mod. Very often it doesn't do great, but this time it's done actually pretty well. Before the crisis of 1936 and 37, the construction works on the dam on the Colorado River along the Arizona-Nevada border, the project started in 1932, had greatly progressed. With turbulent times finally mostly behind us, we have the time and the resources to complete its construction. So we lose some of our non-existent manpower, but we do gain other things. So we probably do need to go to extensive conscription, except we can't because we're not at war. So never mind. We are positive in terms of that. We've got the infantry equipment. Did we ever research infantry equipment 3? No, we need to. In fact, we're only 51 days away from the naval bomber 2. I'll then get the infantry equipment. The other thing we need to do is get the cruiser manufacturer so that we can get the better cruisers for the 1945 model. That's what we do need to do. And then either fighters or light bombers. Don't know which yet. Probably that one. And we do need a new head of intelligence. Social conservative, paternal autocrat. Yeah, and our cabinet is completely mixed up as well. So there's quite a few changes that we need to make for sure. We are doing military factories. I think that is fine. Let's continue queuing up a couple more of those, just to make sure we get the maximum output that we can. That should keep them busy for a while longer. Repairs are being finished. We are no longer doing repair stance. Yeah, this has been... This was a bloody civil war. The war against the PSA alone, 2 million people died. 1 million on each side. Okay, so now we can get this. Is that manpower going to stick around? No. I was like, oh, have we got 5? Are we actually? No. Right, and we don't have a Chief of Navy or Air Force either. We do want this because we want the mechanized hardness and max speed. I'm not going to get the artillery. And we also want the cruisers. I think the cruisers might... actually, let's have a look. Canada, how many ships do you have left? Probably not many. Not really. Carlis, Spain, none. Italy, none. Japan is probably the only other one that does actually have a fleet. Not a huge one. Russia has a few. Ireland has a few. I'd forgotten that Canada still has the UK. Except, yeah, it's the British Reconstruction Authority, who will change back to the UK once their reconstruction stuff is done. Okay, so the war here is going to continue on just because the UK is still on their side, so it's going to be more of an air war, I think, going. I see we have 2 twins in the military staff. Yeah, it's Patton. Patton's taking over the entire government. Although I did take him away from his military command because I wanted generals in charge instead. So, decision. I think I'm going to go for the crew. How big's our navy? It's probably a better question, actually. How big is our navy? 64 ships, and they are relatively modern. At least... No, they're not. They're freaking terrible, actually. Thinking about this, we do have a bunch of level 3 cruisers, a couple of carriers, some ancient battleships. No, our fleet is dreadful. So yes, I think I'm going to get the cruiser manufacturer so that we can actually start building some proper ships. Then we'll get the mechanized so I can grab the mechanized 3, which I don't have yet either. Again, we were saving these for when we got the design companies. Does the mod change naval combat? Not really. It changes the bonuses and modifiers that companies give to navies, but I don't think it changes how it actually works itself. And yeah, our industry is absolutely humming at this point. I think we're going to need some more infrastructure. So let's start building up those areas. Let's do that. Although, actually, hang on. No, let's not. Better idea. We'll keep doing Michigan, and then we'll do the West Coast. Except if we get those for free. Pacific. Columbia, Oregon, Northern, Southern California. We would get those for free. Okay, so in that case, yes, we should be building those up because we'll get these for free. So, and that'll keep them busy for a while. Do I know when the Italy update is coming out? I think they chose to do it after Waking the Tiger comes out because I want to see how the decision system works. So don't expect it for a while, would be my gut feeling. They haven't actually announced anything for sure, so I don't know, is really what I'm saying here. Right, so we are still building tanks. We are very low in steel, and that's just because there is a bit of a shortage of steel throughout everywhere. We don't have the manpower for this carrier. Interesting, so I need to build something else. We'll grab some more light cruiser Mark 1s because they are massively upgraded. So the USN battleship, fleet, battle fleet, carriers, shooters, bang bang. Mechanized equipment is what I'm still shortest on, so let's get some more of those. And continue putting you at the top. Field Hospital 4. Cool. With that done, we were going to get the Weapons 3, because we have already researched the weapons manufacturer, which is good. Can't get the mechanized yet, but I can start getting the cruisers. So we'll get the cruiser 4s. Marvellous. Right, next thing I need to do is grab you lot and say you actually need to have some plans ongoing. In fact, let's get rid of that. Make it a more reasonable one. Like your plan is going to be grab those rivers and then push north. You're going to do that? Oh, no, you only want to do that. Okay. Then the other thing is I need to split these guys out. And start you actually training. And the same with you. Let's get these guys training. And the same with... In fact, your entire army may as well train. Okay, good. So who are we going to go after? Are we going to try and go after Canada or not? I mean, Mexico would be the easier one to knock out because they are not in a faction. Oh, they're in Central America and Panama. That would actually be a better choice. If we take those guys out, then we can go after Canada and then grab the Panama Canal from them. Once we've taken out South or Central America. I kind of like that idea. I'm going to keep these guys up here just so we can get them trained up and everything. And then we will switch around and go after the other side. So we'll just do that. Just so you can getting some planning preparation. Some of the tanks are ready to go. That's fine. I'll have you appear there. Just want the one. Go ahead and deploy. And you lot need to train. Oh, I deployed you too soon. Never mind. So, question, last stream before it ended, we were losing horribly to the PSA. How did we win the war? I managed to squeeze out 6 divisions of medium tanks, and they basically did it for us. We managed to hold. It was an extremely bloody and long fought war. Managed to hold them about here. And then pushed through the south, circled around, cut a bunch off, pushed forwards through that way. And the tanks also managed to attack from the south above the Mexican border and take the big cities here in California rather than going around the top. It was a long slog, though. It was a very long and rather painful slog. Right, let's rebuild the Pacific, so I don't need to build those, although my industry is absolutely roaring. Never mind. It's fine. Some reports from the previous war. Naval bomber is done, so with that we can now get the cruiser 3, no 4. Start you researching, then we can get the heavy cruiser as well, so we can have some larger fighters. So steel. Steel is going to be an issue. Because I am out of places to buy it from. And in fact, I'll suspect that a bunch of you guys have just stopped exporting it. Yeah, India is now closed. Burma is low. Commonwealth of Canada is just not selling to us. Let's buy from China. There's the artillery. So make sure to upgrade you to the level 3s. You're only being used to support artillery, so that is fine. Research slot. Advanced artillery? Yeah, sure. Why not, before I forget. For an extra 10% soft attack. Marvellous. And you guys came from the yellow group. So you can rejoin the yellows. And the tanks can rejoin the reds. Oh. Except you need training. Probably as equipment starting to arrive at the front. Just checking that they were actually from the yellow. Considering the blue is training himself, I'm pretty sure they were from the yellow, so that's fine. Right. How's the fight going on over here? Is anyone actually landing in England? How many troops do you have? Not very many divisions. Your industry is starting to rebuild itself. You're getting quite a bit of civilian, which should mean that you're beginning to replace everything else. And you are smashing your way through these. So yeah, Britain is recovering. Good. There are still invasions and things, though. You guys must be basically out of manpower, though, surely. Extensive. No, England's still got some ways to go. Oh. Yeah, that is England. I was like, hang on. Edward. No, Edward is actually the King of England and of Canada. So I wonder what would happen if those two ever split away from each other. Then France still has a fair amount of manpower. You are on service by requirement, though. Italy, all adults serve. You have several million. You're fine. And all adults serve for Spain. You are also fine, but that's mostly because you just control France. So I think that war is going to be going on for a while. Mexico. Well, how are you looking? Is that of interest? No manpower, and you're unlimited. Partial mobilization. You've not been at war with anyone, so that's why your industry and economy is so terrible. What countries have I not played as? I haven't played as any of these outside ones. So Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina. I have played as Brazil. Haven't played as Middle Africa yet. One of these days I will need to. Portugal I've done. Union of South Africa in this I haven't. In Vanilla I did. Somalia I did. Abyssinia I haven't. Egypt I haven't. Tripolitania I haven't. France I have. Spain I have. Italy I have. I haven't played as Socialist Italy. I might return to Socialist Italy when they're actually up here. When they're down there they just don't make any sense. Ottomans I have. Arabia I haven't. Persia I haven't. And Persia is one I'm very interested in playing when they release the update. I've done Princely Federation. I don't remember if I did Dominion of India or not. I've done Siam. Haven't done anything in China because I'm waiting for those updates. Mongolia, Russia I've done. Norway I've done, though it was a terrible game. Waiting for that to be fixed, then I might return to it. Alright, so let's start building some more industries in those two. And we have a new national focus. Excellent. Just seeing if there are any other bonuses that I could get for those, but it doesn't look like it. So I think what I'm going to do is reclaim Alaska. Alaska was ours before the Civil War, but the chaos, it was lost. Now the Civil War is over, we should go and reclaim Alaska for America. And we'll see if Canada responds. You, and you can join that. You can join that. Strategic Bomber 3, and we have even more factories. Yeah, our industry is just going to explode from this point. In there as well. And industry. Let's go and research jet fighters. Don't think there's any companies which affect jet fighters, so we should be fine with that. Africa isn't that interesting in this mod, you don't do much at all. It wasn't that interesting in vanilla either, though South Africa wasn't bad. 1950 before we can get the strategic bomber, so we'll wait. You know what? We need the air doctrine. Let's go ahead and get support. Combat support doctrine. Have I tried Belgium? No, I haven't. I played as, have I played as the Netherlands in this? Yeah, it was in one of the multiplayer games. I don't really, count when I play multiplayer, because I never read through any of the events, or I just don't get the flavour. I'm always too busy trying not to die. Even more industry. Bloody hell, America. We can get the Pacific states now. Actually, something I do need are more naval dockyards. I'm going to make this my naval area. So I can build a navy if I need it, particularly if I'm going off to, say, Japan. Although I'm not going to be able to launch any ships because I have no manpower. So we'll do that. We'll say another Mark 1. Max it out. Battleship fleet. Although none of you are actually building anything because you have no steel. This lack of steel is a big freaking problem. Canada has a little bit. Mexico has a tiny bit. Chromium from there. Loads of chromium from Cuba. Chromium's not what I need. Steel is. I don't think I'm really going to be getting enough steel supplies from the Americas. I would need to go over here and to Germany. Hell, even Africa has a bit. Does Alaska have steel? No, oil. I mean, there's a little bit of steel here in Ontario and a little bit here in Northern Ontario. But there's honestly not a huge amount. You join them. That's those. How are we doing for heavy tanks now? We do have 200 odd. So with that in mind, we can upgrade you to be a heavy tank. Or rather, the American Patriotic Freedom Fighters. Oops, did not mean to stop you training. You two are already done, so it's going to be... You guys can upgrade to that. Which will require even more training. In fact, I'm kind of tempted just to make you all... just going to change you all right now. Because I did have to build some more just regular infantry during the Civil War. But now the Civil War is over, we should be able to get the materials needed to do all of this justice. Have we got some more tanks? We do. Let's make sure those get trained. And some more free military factories. So what are we short in? Heavy tanks. The only thing is now heavy tanks. And we are producing quite a few, so I'm not particularly concerned by that. How are we doing medium tanks? 600. Good number. Artillery's fine, rocket artillery's fine, motorized rocket artillery's fine, infantry equipment's fine. Mechanized, but we have a lot of things producing mechanized. You know what? We could do with more fighter production. Let's make sure that gets bumped up. Although, again, just these supply issues are going to be deadly. And we do have new technology, which is probably going to be for the naval. Floating fortresses! More capital ship armor. Lovely. Hey, fiddlers. South Africa has declared war on Portugal. Interesting. Because Portugal's Entente. This could be very bad for the Entente. Because I'm going to guess that South Africa is actually going to have a fair number of troops. And they are all concentrated here. While the Entente's fighting here. And actually Africa is one of their last strongholds. Except for Britain. So yeah, that is going to be very bad for them. Great infantry equipment. Alright, good. And we are still reclaiming Alaska. They've not made any threatening noises towards us since we started doing that. You can also join them. So can you. So can you. And you can go and join them. Dive bombing is done. That was quick. It's only taking 42 days, I guess. Colorado River Dam is complete. It took several years and a large amount of money, and more than a few lives, but we have dammed the Colorado River. With its help we can irrigate the surrounding areas, prevent floods, and generate enough electricity to supply almost the entire region. So we gain free infrastructure and a free civilian factory. Hooray for the Jedediah Smith Dam or for the Boulder Dam? I have no idea who Jedediah Smith is. I mean, I think it should really be called the Huey Dam. I'm going to go with the Boulder Dam just because I don't know who Jedediah Smith is. No idea. And we have some more military factories. I think I'm going to put you... Actually, are we producing carrier planes? We're not. Do we need to be? Probably. Oh man, those carrier naval bombers are ancient! Then I think I'm just going to get another line of fighters. Mark 1. And I'm going to stick you with the other fighters. There. Turkestan Khanate has capitulated. Okay. So I'm going to hold off on spending my political power. I know the icon's sitting there and it's tempting me, but I want to wait and see if I go to war with Canada, because then I can change my manpower laws. Although it looks like we're still doing okay in terms of the number of manpower in our forces. You two can join the Reds. We're now having quite a few medium tank divisions. Remember, the medium tanks are really the strength of our army. So having those built up and be really, really mighty and powerful and awesome is going to be kind of important for us. And even more. Right, yeah, I just didn't do that. Okay. Jedi Smith was a mountain man in the 1800s. A trapper and a hunter. I see. Okay, so we've done reclaiming Alaska. Canada holds Alaska. After the American Union triumphed in the American Civil War, they looked to reclaim the territories that were lost to non-Americans. The Canadians had seized Alaska at the beginning of the war, and there was some concern that they did not plan to return it. Long and the leaders of the American Union were considering war with the Entente to reclaim Alaska. Yeah, we are absolutely going to demand that. That is clearly American. And they capitulated. Good. Right, new technology. Let's go for the heavy cruisers. And we'll finish building those. Maybe. At some point. And then we'll need to build some more light cruisers. So I'm just going to queue up a light cruiser 4. Though I don't know when exactly that'll start to work, because we generate no steel! No ships get built. This is definitely one of the downsides of this mod. Just all of the resources run out. Alright, new national focus. I think we need to... let's do the League of American States and then see if we can go down Warpath Purple. To protect America, we should make sure other countries in America are friendly to us, and do not let their godless syndicalism fester in their countries. The idea of a League of American States has been proposed to defend American interests and oppose syndicalism throughout the Americas. You know what? I might just do this as a puppet game. Like everyone, every nation is free and able to be a nationalist state. They just need to be subservient to us. They need to be buying our Pepsi, buying our televisions, watching our Hollywood films, and then all is well. We just force it on them. Freedom means the freedom to consume American culture.